Let's now shift our focus to the United Kingdom, where Prime Minister Boris Johnson was grilled by the opposition leaders for former Health Secretary Matt Hancock's COVID conduct, as well as Johnson's response on the whole scandal. The House of Commons sessions was nothing short of a verbal spat between Boris Johnson and Labour Party leader Sir Keir Starmer. Starmer accused Johnson of acting too late and of attempting to sweep the scandal under the carpet. Remember that hours after intimate pictures of former Health Secretary Hancock fondling with his aide were published, the Prime Minister declared the matter was closed.
Mr. Speaker, why didn't the Prime Minister sack the former Health Secretary on Friday morning?
Mr. Speaker, I read the story in common with you and everybody else on Friday, and we had a new Health Secretary in place by Saturday, Mr. Speaker, which I think, given that we have a pandemic, I think to move from one Health Secretary to the next with that speed was fast, Mr. Speaker, but it wasn't as fast as the vaccine rollout, Mr. Speaker. Which is now going so fast that we've done in this week half of the under 30s, Mr. Speaker, have now had their first jab, and that is speed.
Keir Starmer.
Mr. Speaker, what a ridiculous answer. The Prime Minister must have been the only person in the country who looked at that photo on Friday morning and thought that the Health Secretary shouldn't be sacked immediately. On Friday, the Prime Minister's spokesperson said, quote, "The Prime Minister considers the matter closed." Minister after minister were then sent out to defend the indefensible. It was briefed that the Prime Minister was quite happy for the Health Secretary to stay in his post. So, can the Prime Minister clarify, now he's got the chance, did he sack the Health Secretary or at any point ask him to resign? Yes or no?
Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Gentleman will notice that the Health Secretary has changed in the last 5 days. He complains about the speed with which that happened. This government moved at positively lightning speed by comparison to the Right Honourable Gentleman opposite, who spent 3 days trying and failing to sack his deputy leader, Mr. Speaker, who he then promoted, Mr. Speaker. He fires and rehires.
Boris Johnson was also asked about the EU settlement scheme. The opposition leaders urged the Prime Minister to do away with the deadline, which ends today. Note that after Brexit, the European citizens living in the UK had to apply for the settled status by the 30th of June, that is today. And Johnson says that his government has received more than 5.5 million requests, and those who wish to stay in the UK should fill out the application soon. The British Prime Minister was also asked about his unlock plans, to which Johnson said that all adults would have received at least one dose by the 19th of July and that he is confident that the UK will fully reopen by the 19th. Speaking in Parliament, Johnson also touted UK's vaccination programme. He said that the UK has overtaken Israel in the vaccination numbers. For more on this, WION's London Bureau Chief Mandy Clark is now joining us live from London. Mandy, welcome to WION and thanks so much for joining us. A short while ago, we just saw a war of words and nothing short of a verbal spat between the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and opposition leader Keir Starmer. All about the recent scandal over Hancock. Now, Johnson dismissed the opposition charges on Matt Hancock's resignation. So my question is the matter settled for now, or should Johnson continue to worry?
I think he should actually continue to worry, because if you noticed it, he never actually answered Keir Starmer's question. He asked him repeatedly, did you sack him or not? And he didn't answer. He kept on saying, well, it's the speed in which we had a replacement. So the worry really is for the Johnson government is this is the second time we've seen people in power say something and do something else. Of course, it was Dominic Cummings beforehand, where he decided to drive all the way past a number of county lines because he needed childcare in the middle of the tightest restrictions and lockdown. He was, of course, at the time, Boris Johnson's top aide, and Boris Johnson said he had done nothing wrong. I think the rest of the public really did feel that the rules didn't apply for those in charge. This has the same feeling because Matt Hancock is the health secretary, because those rules were in place, that people couldn't hug their own grandchildren, of course, is less about the adultery and more about the rule.
Right. Mandy, thank you so much for those inputs. We'll come back to you for more as we get more updates from the UK. Thank you for joining us on WION at this hour. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.